Says Mishana Shmuel by mitzvah. He answered to Shmuel mitzvah. V'yana eschem. He should hear you. He should respond to you. V'yishma kol tzach eschem. Listen to your cries. Hazeh should be bayom hazeh. Today, Baruch Ato Hashem Tzarmei Tzedakah. Tzedakah, blessed is HaKadosh Baruch who listens to Christ. Ksiv it says, Vayikbetzu HaMitzpasa. And Shmuel's time they gathered a mitzvah, Vayishavu Mayim, and they drew water, Vayishbechu Lifnei Hashem, they cast it before God. V'chi Mayim Shavchu, how could they spill water? It wasn't psukis, right? What kind of shvichas Mayim is there? Melamed Shavchu is Liban Kamayim, they spilled their hearts like water. Vayomer Shmuel said, Chatanu LaHashem, we sin to God. Amar Shmuel, Rabbi Yitzchak says, Lava Shmuel Chalukan Yisrael. Shmuel put on the cloak of Am Yisrael. Amar Lefonim, he said before God, Ribono Olam. The cloak of Am Yisrael means he what you called? He represented them like a shliach tzibur who puts on a cloak. By the way, I have to tell you that anyway, now we're back on tape. How do you judge a person? You judge him on, he says, Lo chatasi, he says, I didn't sin. Right? As it says, I judge you, Lo chatasi. Am Yisrael said before you were sinned. In other words, 3/4 of tshuva is admitting the sin. So therefore, once you admit the sin, so therefore you're 3/4 of the way there, and that's where Hashem answered Shmuel and Mitzvah for that which they asked for success against the Plishtim. Al Chamish is the first one, the fifth one. Oimer Misha Ones Elio Bar Carmel. He went to tell Elio Har Carmel. Who Yanes Chem should answer to you. V'yishma kol tzakas Chem Yom Hazeh. Listen to your supplications today. Baruch Ato Hashem Shomei Tefillah. Now this is interesting. This is not actually an additional bracha. So he added this into Shema Kolenu, right? It says here, Baruch Ato Hashem Shomei Tefillah. So this is not. So actually, we're going to have 7 brachas, 6 of which are additional ones, and 1 of which, this one, is a modification of Shema Kolenu. Ksiv it says, Vayibalos and Mincha, the Mincha time came, Vayigash Eliyahu Novi came to the Mizbeach and Har Carmel, Vayomer Shem Elokei Yisrael. Okay, Avram, okay, Yitzchak, okay, Avram, Yitzchak, Yisrael. Hayom Yivadat, now today it should be known that you are the God. Ask the Gemara of Eliyahu, Makar B'Shas Yisra Bamos. How does Eliyahu sacrifice the time of Yisra Bamos? And the Yerushalmi really doesn't answer it. Well, actually, I'm not being completely truthful. According to Korban Eidan and Bnei Moshe, the Yerushalmi does answer it. But I'm going to learn like the Shari Torah Eretz Yisrael, who brings from the Medrash that the Yerushalmi doesn't really answer it, and that the next statement is not answered, but rather a separate statement. Amar Rabbi Simloi says that instead of the word Dibura, the Shari Torah Eretz Yisrael, again according to the Medrash, says should say HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it should say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Amar Le, Hashem responded to Eliyahu. In other words, Eliyahu did something which was, a Rosh Shah, something which is a temporary measure, the sacrifice, even though it was forbidden to sacrifice outside the Beis HaMikdash. Then Hashem reciprocated, responded to him, and says, Bidvorcha, like your words are Sisi, Uvdiburecha Sisi, and with your statement, I did what I did. Not sure how that's not redundant, but the idea is that obviously he responded to Eliyahu. Aneni Hashem Aneni. What did Eliyahu say? And Hashem said, Aneni Hashem Aneni. Answer me. Aneni b'schusi. Answer me in my merit. Aneni b'schus talmidai. Answer me in merit of my students. And Hashem responded in kind and responded to what he said. L'shish is on to the 6th he says, Mishonas Yoina b'mei doga. He wants to Yoina in the innards of the fish. We Yaneschem should answer you today. Yishma b'kol tzakoschem and listen to your cries. Hayom said today, Baruch Ato Hashem oneh beitzah al hashvis, and who answers to the time of travail. Ashvi Yisrael in the 7th. It says, Mishonas David and Shlomo b'nei Yerushalayim. You answer David and Shlomo son of Yerushalayim. We Yaneschem, we should respond to you. Yishma b'kol tzakoschem hayom hazeh, and listen to your voice today. Baruch Ato Hashem HaMerachim al Oretz, and that's the final additional bracha. Blessed God who has Rachmanis on the land. Ksiv it says, Vayomer Korasi Mitzorah El Hashem Yaneni. This is the pasuk in Yoina, where Yonah crawls out to Hashem, then this is the precedent specifically to mention Yonah Shmon Esrei because he was also answered. Now, Lo Tzurcha that's not a question. Rather, where why Yonah is mentioned, Ella. The low here, of course, is like all over Yerushalmi Da Ella. Rather, this is a question. Ella David Shlomo Chakachli over in Yonah chronologically. David Shlomo should come before Eliyahu and Yonah. Yet we leave Eliyahu and Shlomo for the last bracha. David Shlomo for the last bracha. It's not chronologically correct. So the Gemara answers by the Pi Kabbalah. It's not a kasha. Because Nevi'im always come in Kabbalah before Malachim. They're higher up in the scale, right? So Nevi'im are Yoina and Eliyahu, and Malachim are David and Shlomo. But
how is it in the Stichas when we say Anenu Hashem?
It's David and Shlomo are last, yeah. Anenu Shanisa. This is actually the Slichos Tachlua Yiladim. Well, they don't say that in Bnei Ruvain, but the Slichos Tachlua Yiladim, Slichos for children's maladies, follows the format of these brachos, the additional brachos. Anenu Shanisa Lishmo Mitzvah, Anenu Shanisa the Bahar Carmel. All these things are mentioned there. So in any event, so it says the reason is because we want to end the last bracha, the last additional bracha, with the supplication for Rachmanos on the land, either Eretz Yisrael, of course, or it could even be Bavel in this case, because it's talking about the idea of land not as the Eretz HaKodesh, but the land which needs rain, right? So whatever land needs rain, we're mentioning, but who we mention in the context of land, of course, the conquerors of the land and the kings of the land, David and Shlomo. Okay?
You're saying that whole paragraph is regular slichos, but Ruben doesn't say?
Yeah. No.
Misha Ana, Nenu, that whole, those two things?
No.
There's
No, there's additional slicha.
Another slicha.
Yeah.
Which I saw an article for children.
Separate slichas for children who are ill?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just
I always say it, but then
they say it in yeshivas, but I don't think Paul Batim just.
they also add
Slichos l'tachlui yiladim rachman al-Litzlan. So each one, Anek Shanisa Avraham Avinu B'Har Moriah, Anek Shanisa Avasam Yamsuf, Anek Shanisa L'Shul B'Gilgal, Anek Shanisa L'Shmo B'Mitzvah, Anek Shanisa L'Yol B'Har Kama, Anek Shanisa L'Yonah B'Mei Adoga.
For Yerushalmi Tshuva too.
Anek Shanisa David Shlomo B'Nov Yerushalayim is afterwards. What? Then has Mordechai.
Isn't that the format also for the slichas? Yeah.
Which is it there also?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just remember.
Right before Tachla. Right. The two paragraphs before Tachla.
Oh, you're talking about.
Oh, you're right. It's here too. No wonder it was so familiar. I haven't seen it. No, but this one has many more added on. And here, David and Shlomo are not last.
But
the Taka goes in order here. No. Here it's Shmuel, David and Shlomo, then Elio, then Elisha, then Yonah. This one, so it's not it is in chronological order, not like the Yerushalmi here. Not like the Mishnayos, actually, it's not the Yerushalmi, it's the Mishnayos. But this one, the Tachlui L'Adim, has it in order. It has David and Shlomo actually not last, because it has Mordechai and Esther, but it has them after Elio and after Yonah. Okay? Says Yerushalmi further, Al Shvius Mishum Sumul Somer Bar. Amazing, the Chasima. He says, no. We don't say Amrachim or to say Baruch Mashbil HaRamim. Blessed is God who cuts down the haughty ones. So Nicho Shlomo. I understand Shlomo. Now there are two understandings of this Nicha. One is I understand Shlomo, that Shlomo was responded to in davening, and therefore we should mention him. The other is I understand Shlomo had to be cut down to size. Right? So one interpretation of that is that Shlomo answered a daven to Hashem, and Hashem responded by bringing Shechin into the Beis HaMikdash. The other is that Shlomo took pride. He said, Ich hab gebaut the Beis HaMikdash. I built it, so I'm a good guy, right? So, but David Lama, which either means where was David answering his tefillah, or why did David need taking down a notch? So, since he wanted to make a census of Am Yisrael, right? So erased already. He wanted to make a census of Am Yisrael. So two interpretations again. He wanted to make a census, and then he had to daven to stop the plague, and the plague stopped. Or he made a census, and that's why he needed to be nishpal, to be taken down a notch. Amr said, "B'kori aneni elokei tzidki." But when I call, answer me, the God of my justice. Batzar, in my travail, Yechat, expand it for me. David said before Hashem, I don't know why it's like this, but any difficulty entered, you expanded it to me. I came into the Torah about Sheva, and I got Shlomo out of the deal. And the Yisrael got into the Torah about how many Yisrael the census, but sadly it's based on Mikdash. As a result of that episode, they ultimately came to find the site for the Beis HaMikdash. So David says, obviously, with proper prayer, any bad situation can be turned around and made into a positive situation.
How did the census have to do with the census?
Well,
you didn't get to it yet.
When they stopped, the Mageva was stopped in a field which later became the place of the Beis HaMikdash.
I thought it's related to Kedas Yitzchak. That's the site of the Beis HaMikdash.
Yeah, obviously they forgot it. Either they forgot it, or was not. It was out of my. Two brothers? What two brothers?
That's Medrash Rabbah.
What? Oh, I don't think that matters. I don't think it exists.
Medrash Rabbah is a story of the two brothers who met.
I don't think that's a matter. It's a children's story. I don't believe it's true.
No.
It doesn't exist.
It sounds great.
It doesn't exist.
What is the story?
Yeah.
I'm
The story is that there are two brothers, one of which wanted to support the other.
One was childless, one was old. They didn't want to, each one didn't want to let the other one know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The highest form of tzedakah is anonymous gifts. So he'd bring over some food or leave something and in the middle of the night. And then the other brother would bring back the food in the middle of the night, something like that.
Yeah. They tell the story. I don't believe the measure is true, and they also there's a variation. I don't believe there's a measure like that, and there's variation on that story about two brothers who I don't remember where I heard this. Two brothers who did the exact opposite. The one guy would steal from one brother in the middle of the night, and the other would steal back from the other night. And the end of that story is that was the site at which later on they built the Knesset. So that is that sounds much more accurate in my opinion. That was the way I heard it. The version I heard. Yeah. Ma'aser Rabbi Yemei Rabbi Chalafta. So Ma'aser days Rabbi Chalafta, Yemei Rabbi Chana ben Tradion, days Rabbi Chana ben Tradion. Shavar Echel Livnei Ateva. One of they actually did an amazing thing on the Ta'anis. Speaking of the Beis HaMikdash, a fellow went to be a chazan, a gomer's called a bracha, and he finished the entire bracha, and it should be the way it says in Bavli, v'lo nu'achrav amen. They didn't answer amen. They said Baruch Shem Kvo Malchus Olam Vad, like they did in the Beis HaMikdash. They talku HaKohanim talku, and then the Kohanim blew shofar. Then they did Mishoras Avraham Avinu Bar Moriu Yanaschem Yishma B'Kol Tzachasem Hayom Hazeh Hariu B'nei Aaron Hariu. Then they did Truos. Etc., right? They did Kiyos and Truos at the end of every bracha, and they said Baruch Shekavo Machsul Levoid instead of Amen. Mamish mimicking the way it was done in the Beis HaMikdash on the Ta'anis. When the matter came to Chachamim, they said, "Lo okay, nogi, there was no minute like this other than Eitz Ela B'Shar Mizrach, other than in the East Gate Yerushalayim, in the Beis HaMikdash, when the Kohen Gadol used to say the Shem Hashem Mefurish. Tani, we learned Lo Yuani by Mikdash. You wouldn't answer Amen in the Beis HaMikdash. Umay Yomer, they say Baruch Shem Kvo Malchus Olam Vad. When I Shlo Yuani Amen Mikdash, how we know that you don't say Amen in Mikdash. Tam Lom, it says Kumu Baruch Hashem Lokechem, rise and bless God your Lord. Mina Olam V'Yad Olam. From this world to the next world, and that's the Olam Void. Minayah called Bracha. Bracha, I knew they did at the end of every Bracha. Tam Larkas Plus says Umromam, uplift him. That's a continuation there in Nehemiah. Umromam called Bracha Tila, God is uplifted on every Bracha and every praise. Shalosh Ta'anis Rishonos, the first three fasts. Now remember we said for the for rain there's 3, then 7. Okay, it's 13 altogether. The first 3 are the most lenient ones. They're only fast during the day. Shalosh Ta'anis Rishonos, the first 3 fast. Anshe Mishmar Misayin, the people whose turn it is to serve the Beis Hamikdash that week, they fast as long as it's not their day. Below much they don't complete the fast. In other words, they fast half day. The people whose day it is to serve Beis Hamikdash that day, Loyim decided they wouldn't fast at all because of it was like a yontif for them to do the avodah. Sholosh is the second 3. Anshe Mishmar Misayim Mashlim, the people of the Mishmar who were not supposed to work that day of the week, they fast and complete the fast. V'anshe Beisav, and the people of the Beisav, Misayim V'lo Mashlim, they would fast, but only half a day. Sheva Achronis, the last 7 fasts, Eilu Misayim Mashlim, they would all fast and complete the fast. This is all Divrei Rabbi Yeshua. Chacham say, Shalosh Ta'anis Rishonos, the first 3 fasts, Eilu Ve'elu Misayim. The both groups would not fast. Sholosh Ta'anis, the second group, the second 3 fasts. Anshe Mishmar Misayim, the people in the Mishmar fast, Lo Mashlim, they don't complete the fast. Anshe Beisav, Lo Misayim, they wouldn't fast at all. The Sheva Achronos, the last 7, Anshe Mishmar Misayim, the people of the Mishmar would fast, Umashlim, and complete the fast. And even then, Anshe Beisav, the people whose day it was to be Oved, Misayim, they would fast for Lo Mashlim, but not complete the fast, only do half a day. Anshe Mishmar, the people of the Mishmar, even though it's their week in the Beis Hamikdash, it's not their specific day. Mutar shtos yayin b'leilos. They're allowed to drink wine at night. Avlo imam b'dan in the days, because they're backups, maybe they'll have to go and serve. Anshe Beisav, the people whose day it actually is, lo b'yom v'lo b'layla, they're not allowed to drink neither during the day nor at night. Anshe Mishmar, all the people of the Mishmar, Anshe Maimed, and the Yisraelim will come, taking turns of that week on the Korbanos in order to stand in Yerushalmi over the Korbanos. Asurim, they're all forbidden milasaper and luchabes to take haircuts and to bathe, not to bathe, to do laundry during the week which is their turn. Only Chamishim Mutarim, only on Thursday they're permitted minei covered Shabbos because of the honor of Shabbos. Okay. Now the next the rest of Yerushalmi Day is a mess with the gear sos. So here, let me read it to you the way it's supposed to be read, according to Gilead and Ephraim. Ma anshe mishmar mutarim. Why are the people of the Mishmar allowed lishtos yayin to drink wine but leilos during the night, avolobiyah but not during the day? Shem tichbar avodah, that if there's too much work, al anshe base off. The people of the Beisav, in other words, the people whose day it is, so then they take from the back off. You'd start for Anshe Mishmar Imayim. The other people of the other days join with them. Anshe Beisav, Lo B'yom B'lo B'ayel, whereas people Beisav not during the night, not during the day, not at night, because it's their day for the avodah, so they have to be constantly, completely prepared, and they therefore not allowed to drink at all. What? Because they might get distracted and continue drinking and be unfit the next day. No wild partying the night before they go to the Beis Hamikdash to serve. Okay? Anshe, Mishmar of Anshe Mamad.
Would it be because they still had they burned the worm at night?
No, it was the night before, I think. Man, are you sure it's the night afterwards?
Because the whole thing of drinking wine is only really a revius. That's what's usher for them.
Right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is the night afterwards, even though it sounds like the night before. Maybe it's the night afterwards, and they're not going to need too many kohanim, but since they might need the base off, so therefore they can't drink. That could be. That might be true. They're not allowed to get a haircut and do laundry. Except Thursday because of cover Shabbos. So Shar Kol Yom all the other days they're prohibited. Why? Rabbi Yossi, Ravo, Shem Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Ovin, and Rabbi Yassim Sheikh Chizkiah said Gozer Lein Shlei Konsul Shabbosim Menuvalim, saying like we have by Yontif. Because if a person is allowed to put off his haircuts and his laundry till Yontif, he'll put it off and he'll come to Yontif disheveled, right? So therefore we make him do it before Yontif, and here too we make him do it before they enter. We make them do it before they enter their turn in the Beis HaMikdash for that week. Let them do it the week before. Okay? Time to learn over there a similar thing. As I just told you, who are the people allowed to shave on Chol Hamoed? Only somebody who comes from Chutzlaretz and from captivity. Somebody comes out of prison. Somebody who's in the Chaim, permit him on Yontif. Everybody else is prohibited. They must shave and do laundry before Yontif begins. Rabbi Simon, same idea. Rabbi Simon said, they shouldn't enter Yontif filthy. Tani, we learned. Anybody knows what Mishmar is part of. Anshe Beisav knows what Beisav is part of. And it should be Vahu, according to most of the Achronim here. Vumi Bati Elvas Kvim, and he's from one of the Bati Elvas, which got one of the 7 days of the week when their Mishmar was called Yerushalmi. Now, it seems like there were more Bati Elvas than 7, and some of them really did not get it, or they didn't have the privilege of serving the Beis HaMikdash. What?
The base of meaning...
Each Mishmar is divided into 7. Okay? Manche Beisav Shalo, it shows so Shumi Bate Avas Akvuim, also close Hayom. He knows what they would have theoretically served in the Beis HaMikdash, where the Beis HaMikdash rebuilt, so that they cannot drink wine. The Chomish who makir Anshe Mishmar Shalo, somebody who knows what Mishmar is from, Ve'eno makir Anshe Beisav, but doesn't know which Beisav he's from, Ve'eno, and he's not. It should be Ve'eno Mibate Elvas Akvuim. He's not one of the Bate Elvas who definitely would serve when the week of that Mishmar came. Also, closer Shabbos, he's more up the creek. Since he doesn't know which day would be his, so he's also to drink. Bisman say even though there's no Beis HaMikdash that entire week. Because they either Zeich LaMikdash because maybe the Beis HaMikdash will be speedily rebuilt. V'chomish eno makir lo anshe Mishmar Shalei, doesn't know what Mishmar is part of. V'lo anshe Beisav Shalo, he doesn't know what Beisav is part of. Ve'eno batek v'osavos akuvim, he's not from those who should definitely work. Rabbi says, oh my nishuas, I would want to say he's also to always drink wine. Elo shetikanto kalkuloso, he was rectified by his ruination. Meaning that the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed, so I can't cause him to refrain from drinking wine. And therefore, also Shumutter behesped, he's allowed to involve himself in hesped. It's an interesting thing. I never recall seeing this elsewhere. And in fact, some of that claim just changed the gears here. The Shari Torah says it's to Shehu Mutter B'yayin. And Bismana said since we don't have wine, so therefore he's allowed to drink, since it's not Beis HaMikdash, he's allowed to drink wine. But here it sounds like there's an additional factor of hesped. That hesped is not for a Kohen. A Kohen is not allowed to be involved in hesped when it be his time to go to the Beis HaMikdash.
Why?
I guess because it makes him sad. And he does Hashem b'simcha. So therefore, and the Bismana they can go to hesped. Kemad Tamar, the top of the Yud Beis Mal, Kemad Tamar, like you say, Tikanto kalkulo, so that he was fixed by his ruination. It should be Shu Mutter Be'Hesped, and that's why Bismar saying go to Hespedim. The Kavaso, so to the opposite is true, the Kilkulo so Taknaso, that he'll be ruined by his Takana, when the Beis HaMikdash is rebuilt, he's not allowed to do work during the week, which is his week. He has to do all his work from beforehand, like haircuts and laundry. Okay?
Why can't he go to Hesper? Because when Mashiach comes, the person that just died will miss many.
Bismana say he can't go to Hesper, but not when the Beis HaMikdash. Because then he would be upset. Now we don't care if he's upset.
So how come you tried saying that you can't go to Hesper?
No, when you know what they would have been over the Avodah. When Mashiach comes and rebuilds the Beit HaMikdash, not everybody will be resurrected right away also. So, even if Mashiach comes, he'll still be depressed to be at that because this might be the guy who Dafka doesn't get up. Everybody else is rising from the dead. This guy's just lying there in his coffin. Alright. Kol Kosev Megillah. Now it gets a little bit complicated. You know, there used to be something called Megillah's Ta'anis. I actually have one at home.
Do you really?
Yeah. It cost me like 80 cents when I bought it. It's like a very thin pamphlet. So, Megillah's Ta'anis is a list of minor holidays, which we no longer keep, as the Yerushalmi will say. Unfortunately, nowadays we do. Yeah. So, Kol Kosev Megillah.
Bring it to Minyan.
Yeah. Kol Kosev Megillah. It says anything that says in Megillah not to make a hesped on the day. Lefanav also before that day is forbidden. L'achar mutar the next day after that day is permissible. Rabbi Yossi Lefanav ulachar also both before and after are prohibited. The Lola Yisanov Lefanav it says that this is a day not to fast. Lefanav l'achar mutar, then you're allowed to fast the day before and the day after. Rabbi Yossi Lefanav also l'achar mutar, you're not allowed to fast the day before, but you are allowed to fast the day after. Now, Masisa and Meir, our mission is going like Rabbi Meir in general. Rabbi Meir says, the Rabbi Meir Amar Dilol Misped Osir Lisanos. If it's a day which you can't make hesped, you certainly can't fast on it. But the Lo Lisanos, the day which you can't fast, so according to Rabbi Meir, mutter b'hesped, you may still be allowed to make a hesped. So what's actually a more severe penalty?
Fasting.
What? I shouldn't say more severe penalty. What's a more severe holiday? Sorry. A day in which you cannot... No. No. Make a hesped, right? There are days in which you're allowed to fast, not allowed to fast, but you are allowed to make a hesped. No. Days you're not allowed to fast, but you are allowed to make a hesped. But they're not allowed to make a hesped, you're certainly not allowed to fast. Right? That's what he's saying here. Is that clear? So, in the level of holidays, the holidays where you can't fast, that's a lower level. And the higher days, level of holidays, not only days which you can't fast, but you also can't make a hesped. Don't see that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Right.
Okay.
Right. I just had a category in my mind.
V'di-lo.
Think of it as tach, saying days that you don't think tach.
Right. Actually, there is a parallel to this in Ashkenaz, but not inspired. In Ashkenaz, the days in which you don't say Lam Natseach. I'm saying days you don't say Lam Tachlim, but you do say Lam Natseach. But the days you don't even say Lam Natseach. Okay, so those are the levels. And this is inspired. Whenever you don't say Tachlim, you don't say the Lam Natseach. But we have those two levels. Days you do say and those you don't say. Okay. So, D-Lo, where it says in Megillah's Ta'anis, D-Lo, Stam Kedi, just generically without any specific affiliation of what you shouldn't do, it means Lo Yisanai, you shouldn't fast, but you can't say hesped. Rabbi Yena. Rabbi Yena said, and here the word should be thrown in the Shai Torah, so it still says throws in Tani, we learn. Elain Yomaya, these are the days, Lo Misma Behon, which you shouldn't make a hesped. Miktsas and Lo Yisanai bones. Some of them you also you also cannot fast on. So that's the exact opposite. He says that those you cannot fast are more severe holidays. But it's all these days you can't be maspid on. And now some of them you can't even make a fast on. So we held the exact opposite of what we said before this prior. So Amar Shin Gamliel said, Matam Lomer Behon Shtei Pam. It says in Megillah's Ta'anis Behon twice. With Megillah's Ta'anis it's like a pasuk. It says Behon twice. It says the Lola Mismeh Behon, Mitzvah and Loli Sanaya Behon. Because you say Lola Mismeh Behon, Mitzvah and Loli Sanaya. Why I say Behon twice? Something which Dr. Abdel remarked a long time ago. Yerushalmi Darshan's Mishnah is like Psukim, right? So it says Malamed Shalayla Mutar Vayom Oser. It teaches us that the night is permitted and the day is forbidden. In other words, it's like a mute, right? It's like a mute. The mute is that at night. What? At night you're allowed to make a hesped or a tinus. So he says he's eyeing our mission in two things. First of all, he says that a day which you cannot fast is more severe than a day you can't make hesped on. And secondly, he says that you're allowed to do all these things the night before. You're allowed to make a hesped the night before. It's just not during the day itself. Okay, now kehodah. I'm going to tell you this the way I learned it, which is really not necessarily the way the Mefarshim learns it. So he says here, how do we know that the night before is not part of the fast, and therefore, or not part of the holiday, and therefore you can fast on it, or you can say hesped? It says the tani. It says kador tani lahain inish. Therefore, a person the heavy aloy yetzer b'tzelu, person who wants to fast should azur upon himself in davening. Because if you want to be makabel tinus upon yourself, you have to be makabel in davening the tinus. Do you know when you're makabel tinus? When you want to fast a private fast? Mincha. So the proof is, why mincha, not a marv?
The night start, the day started already.
What?
The new 24-hour period started already at Marv. No,
Yeah, so it must be that not like Rosh Hashanah Gamliel. Okay? So right against Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. So actually it's right against Rosh Hashanah Gamliel.
In other words, at Mincha, you're giving notice that you're going to start fasting at nightfall.
Yeah.
You don't give notice during Marv already, because the new day started.
Okay, that's true. Now, so the point is, it's Aryan Shigam. Shigam said that whatever today is, the night before is separate. So you're being right, that's not the case, because if the night before is that's not completely true, because the night before it's completely separate, then should be able to be makabel tinus for the night or the next day, right? So it must be that the day and the night are somewhat related.
Are there any people who would fast just at night, not in the day?
No, there's no such thing. No.
So why the Gemara seems to be implying that would be done?
No, only the other way around. Because there's a Gemara, it says somewhere, Kol Tainish lo shakar lo tchama ino Tainus. So Tainus gotta last during the day till nightfall. And it says, this is going, this teaches us that you have to mention Tainus at night. Right? In fact, the Yerushalmi Shita we had yesterday was that you say Anenu also at night, not just during the day. Right? Vasya Kaidam Rav Zir B'Shem Rav Chuna, like Rav Zir said, name Rav Chuna, Omra B'Leila Shabbos Yom, say Kileila Shabbos Yom, should be that you say Anenu both during the day and at night. So all this is not like Shrin Gamliel, who says the night and day are separate. We see the night and day are connected. Now, Mas Nisan, this is going back to the Mishnah, not over here, but in the Mishnah in the Masechta Megillah, and it says that. There in the Mishnah Megillah, it says if the people in the outlying communities can't make it into the metropolis for Purim, so they're allowed to come in and read early on any marketplace that week, from the 11th day of Adar until the 16th day. So it says there that during those days, from the 11th Adar until the 14th day of Adar, so it says there that. Says they're not allowed to make. It says in Megillah Science not allowed to make a hesped or a tinus. Okay, it says not allowed to make a hesped or a tinus. So it says more. What? Well, that's why Bisman is there. You're right. Bisman they couldn't get it. Bisman Megillah Science they couldn't do that because it's the day before Purim. Wouldn't be allowed to fast then, right? So all these other cases. So it says more. Masis and Obilav. So the Gemara had to ask, what's the Kiddush that Mishnah over there? Right, on Yud Gimel, you can't say Hesped Tainus because it's the day before Yud Daled. And Yud Gimel, the word doesn't say this, is also Yom Nikanor. As we shall see, it's a special day. So if you can also say Mispid Ta'anis. So if that's the case, it's not just Yud Gimel, but also Yud Beis, the day before. So that's what Yerushalmi is about to ask. What's the mission telling us over there that you cannot fast from the 11th day on? So it's more, it's only a Chiddush Masdisin over Yud Alf Rabbi Yossi. According to Rabbi Yossi, it's a Chiddush because Yud Alf is 2 days before Yud Gimel, and therefore I might think that you can fast and make a hesped then. So therefore that's tells because of Kriyas Megillah, which is a place you don't have to fast and make a hesped. Rabbi Yossi, now it's a fast make hesped. Now that's Chiddush according to Rabbi Yossi, who holds that normally, let's say a day like Purim Yom Nikanor takes the day before it. But it shouldn't take you to Aleph, which is 2 days before. Nevertheless, it does take it because it's a day which you can read the Megillah. Oh, but you'd base according to Meir, the day before Yom Nikanor, you could make a hesped. So for the Chiddush is according to him that you base, you can't make a hesped. Okay? Says the Gemara, the kasha out, it should be according to the carbonator, kasha out Rabbi Yossi. It's different Rabbi Yossi. Locain Taida, we learn, betrain us Arbei on the 12th day, it's also Yom Tov. It's called Yom Turiyoi. There's a certain gzera made by a king or general called Turion on Yud Beis, and Yud Beis either Adar was cancelled. So therefore, I know Yud Aleph too. What's the mission telling us? Yud Aleph, you're not allowed to say, you're not allowed to make hesped or ties, because it's a day in which Megillah could be read. Anyway, it's the day before Yom Trinus. And Yom Trinus is also to make a hesped, so certainly the day before is also as well, right? So it says the Gemara, Rabbi Yaakov Baracha, Yaakov answered, Batal Yom Trion. The holiday Yom Trion was cancelled. Why? Because Yom Shner Linus Upapus, saying which 2 very righteous brothers who gave their lives to save a city, in which there was a rumor that some Jew had killed the daughter of the king, so they came forward and volunteered to be killed themselves. So they were killed on Yom Turayon, on Yud Beis Adar. So that canceled that party. So therefore, you need to tell me, according to Rabbi Yossi, that Yud Aleph is also Behesped, because Yud Aleph doesn't precede a party day, because Yud Beis is no longer a party day. Okay? Yom Platza Sebei, now as we mentioned before, the 13th day of Adar is Yom Nikanor. Mal Yom Nikanor, what's the holiday of Nikanor? Shilton Mishal Malchus Yovan, he was a ruler from the Greek kingdom. Oivel Alexandria, who passed through Alexandria. Raz Yerushalmi, so he saw Yerushalmi, V'chirav Gidev, he blasphemed and he mocked, Beniates, and he cursed. Varme said, B'shuvi b'sholom, when I come back in peace from Egypt, at Totzis Amilos, I'm going to break this tower, I guess the Beis HaMikdash. V'yotza Elov, and in order to defeat him, there came out to him Echad Mishal Beis Chashmai, one of the Hasmoneans, Vayahori v'chelosav, and he smote this guy with his armies, Ad Shigi, until they reached, it should be Lekron and Shlo, until they reached his wagons or his carriages. Came to Shukon Shlo, once they reached his wagon or carriage, Katal es Yodo, so his attacker cut off his hand, V'chatach es Rosho, and severed his head, the Tacham be'etz, and he stuck them onto a tree or a flagpole. Because of he wrote Milamata on the bottom, Hapesh Diber Ba'oshma, the mouth which spoke in iniquity is here. Vayach Pashta Begaiva, and the hand which stretched out its hand in haughtiness is here as well. Utluyim Bekuntas Keneged Yerushalayim, and they hung them in a with a long tree outside Yerushalayim. Okay, says more further. Al daite the Slat Yom Nikanor. Al daite, now here yourselves are all messed up according to Carbonator, and I'm going to learn like him. Al daite Rabbi Yossi. I'm sorry, daite. Yeah, daite Rabbi Yossi. Right, that's the Carbonator changed it. Al daite Rabbi Yossi. Nicha. I understand. Bar le'asor lefanov. In other words, you have to tell us what your gimel is. The Megillah side tells you gimel is a yontif in order to pat to Yud Beis from Hesped and Ta'anis, right? Al daiti to Rabbi Meir, however, according to Rabbi Meir, ma bo le'asor. What does it come to aser? Le'asor l'fon of leisle. Rabbi Meir holds the day before Megillah's Ta'anis day is not also in Hesped and Ta'anis, right? Oh, it's not also in Hesped Tainis the day before, only the day after, right? That's inside our Mishnah, right? Oh, not even the day after, just the day. Sorry, just the day itself, right? Just the day itself. That's saying last night in Mishnah.
Front of us.
What? Lefanav Achar Mutter. Saying the last line in Mishnah. That's Rabbi Yossi.
Rabbi Yossi will front of us.
Right. So now, all right, we're saying the same thing. Let's go back to more. Al daited Rabbi Yossi, third line of the Bible. According to Rabbi Yossi, Nicha. Yatami al Nikanor Bol Esel Lefana, because Rabbi Yossi holds the day before is also. So now that there's no Yom Trinus anymore, well, the more is going to say, especially on base, maybe I should leave for the more to say, more to say. Now it's no Yom Trinus, so I had to tell me Yud Gimel is still a Yom Tif, in order that nobody should say, you know, I keep falling into this. Nobody should say Tachnun on Yud Beis. It's really not Tachnun, but you get the idea, right? So you have to tell me that Yud Gimel is Yom Tif, or you shouldn't say Tachnun on Yud Beis, according to Rabbi Yossi, because Yossi knocks out a day before. But Al Daite, the Rabbi Meir, again it's switching, Maboles, or what good does it tell me that Yud Gimel is Yom Nikanor? Yud Beis, according to Rabbi Meir, you still have to say Tachnun, because he says the day doesn't knock out, right? And Yud Gimel, you don't need Yom Nikanor to answer, because Yom Gimel, Yud Gimel is oh, I got it, okay, sorry. Because Yud Gimel is the day in which you can fast, but you can't say Hesped. Yom Nikanor, you can fast, but you can't say Hesped, right? Because it's only a non-Tainus day. A non-Tainus day doesn't pater the day before. But Yudalit is a non-Tainus and non-Hesped day. So Yudalit does pater the day before. So now again, Kasha is now, according to Rabbi Yossi, you have to tell me that Yud Gimel is Nikanor day, because Rabbi Yossi holds that a non-Tainus day paters the day before. So Yud Gimel, which is a non-Tainus day, although it is a day which you're allowed to make Hesped, paters Yud Beis, and you have to tell me that. But according to Meir, a non-Tainus day does not pater the day before, only a non-Tainus non-Hesped day. So Purim is a non-Tainus Yom non-Hesped day, so therefore it paters Yud Gimel. But Yud Gimel itself, what's the Chiddush? It's pater because it's the day before Purim, right? You want it to pater Yud Beis? It can't. Because Yom Nikanor itself is only a non-Tainus day, not a non-Tainus non-Hesped day. So that's more a very interesting answer, very simple answer. No, that's good for the point. By telling us it's Yom Nikanor, we tell us it's not just a day before Purim Yom Tif. It's a Yom Tif in and of itself. In other words, we're just the day before Purim. Mitak would only be Aser to fast on, but you would be allowed to make a hesped on it. By telling us it's Yom Nikanor, you're telling us now you're not allowed to fast, you also have to not make a hesped either. Okay, that's exactly the point. Now that's about a field Rabbi Yossi, again changing here, some field Rabbi Yossi, lazy Makshaya. I understand, according to Rabbi Yossi, it's also Kasha. So it says the Gemara, Elokein Tani B'Shenasa Yom Tirion. You want to tell me that it had to say the 13th in order to pater the 12th? We know the 12th is pater, it's Yom Tirion. No, so the Gemara answers like I told you before, Rabbi Yaakov Bracha, Batal Yom Tirion, Yom Shenari Gulais and Papas. It's no longer Yom Tirion, right? But you want it still pater Yud Beis. So how do we pater Yud Beis? On the backhand, because it's the day before Yud Gimel. So that's why it tells us to say before the Gimel. Now, going further with this idea, Ba'abos al-Chamishas al-Puraya. On the 14th day and 15th day of Puraya, and of course they're double days. No fasting nor no hesped. Dilol misbed. B'shizas arbei. Now, on the 16th day of Puraya, is also Yom Tif. It's amazing, all this Yom Tov we don't keep, right? Sharai Elamin, they shur the Yerushalayim. They started building the wall of Yerushalayim. Dilol misbed, so you can't make a hesped then. Okay? Al daitu Meir nichos. So I understand according to Meir makes it good. Ba losar, it comes to Aser, but here's another typo, Atzmo. Comes to tell us that Meir holds normally the day after there's no residual effect, right? So this is because Purim is now Aser and Tainus Hesped, it wouldn't help the 16th, right? So what makes the 16th also to fast on? The fact that it's the day of the beginning of the building of the wall. But according to Rabbi Yossi, anyway, you wouldn't make Ta'anis on the 16th because it's the day after Purim. So Kanios the day after is also Patrab. Bar Loser, what does it come to the Aser? Loser Lefonov Lei. Right? Can't Aser the day before, and Ta'anis the day before is also because it's Purim, right? Atzma Aser, and in itself is Aser, because it's the day after Purim. So what do you gain by telling me today they started building the Beis HaMikdash? So again, the Acha comes tells you also best be now to make a hesped either. Right? Because it was only the day after Purim, would ask for making a Ta'anis, but would ask for making a hesped. That's why they have to tell us that it has its own independent mila that you can't even make a hesped on it. Okay, skip 3 lines because this was redundant. Says the Gemara B'Shivas. Do you see that beginning of line B'Shivas? So it should be B'Yud Zayin, the 70th day of Adar. Nochayontif. 70th day of Adar is they're mamish chasidim back then. They never said tachlis. B'Yud Zayin Bei Komun Amamaya played the surprise. The nations arose against the remnant. I guess after the Choron Bayis Rishon. The Mdinas Bulkim. In the country of Bulkim, or Beizavdin, the other country Beizavdin, Favaparkin, they were redeemed. Okay, so again, no Ta'anis in Hesped. Al Daitra Meir Nicha, Konar Meir, I understand. Bolosar comes to forbid you to make a Ta'anis in Hesped on the Yud Zayin, right? Even though it's the day after the wall day, but that doesn't help Konar Meir. So if they have to tell us that it's it's Bulkim day. Right? But Rabbi Yossi again, Mabo Lesser. What is it coming to Aser in Ta'anis? The fun of Leisley, the day before you don't need it for, right? Because the day before is wall day. Atzmoser in itself is Aser because it's the day after wall day, right? So what's going to Aser? So again, I'm Rabbi Yossi. Actually, we could have given the same answer, right? Could have given the same answer. It comes to Aser. Bulkim day in Hesped too, right? That if it was only the day after wall day, it'd be also the fast, but you're allowed to make a Hesped, right? But now it tells us and Hesped. We could have answered that, but it says Gemara, no. I have a much better answer. Rabbi Yossi called Ilim Milaya. All these Yamin Tovim, Lo Messiah v'Lo Tavron Lo Dermei v'Lo Rabbi Yossi. It's not a raya for or against Rabbi Yossi. You know what? Because you're assuming that every one of them has to be mentioned for a chiddush. That to tell us that even though anyway, Pashtus, I know you can't make a fast then, but I can't make a hesped, right? And then based on you want to say, depending if it's a before or after, it's a right for against Rabbi Yossi. You're missing the point of Megillus Ta'anis. The point of Megillus Ta'anis is Limnos Loboel Limnos Yomim Shenasu Bem Nisim L'Yisrael. The current Megillus Ta'anis to tell us Farvos is Dar Yontif, not that you shouldn't make a hesped Ta'anis, but why is it a special day? And that's what's going to tell us the rationale behind the special days, right? So Teidah Shukei is true. The Tninon, I'll prove it to you. It says Bereish Yarcha, and Rosh Chodesh Nisan says a Gewaldige Yontif. The Yatkin Tmita, the second Beis HaMikdash, they started. There was a time when the Beitus, the Kormei Mizan, that Stokim said that the Beitusim Stokim, same thing. They said that an individual could volunteer a korban tomid, and we hold that an individual is not allowed to volunteer a korban tomid. It has to come from Trumas Halishka, right? So it's a big machlekes. So on Rosh Chodesh Nisan we proved them wrong. We bested them. So therefore, the Lola Mispah, you shouldn't make a hesped.
Shouldn't make a hesped on Rosh Chodesh.
That's what he says, right? So v'lokach ain't also machmas Rosh Chodesh, right? It's not because Rosh Chodesh. Rather, it's going to tell us that it's a yontif in and of itself. Whereas you can't make the diuk in it that it says Lola Mishpat, so otherwise it could have made a hesped and it's a riot for a mayor against a mayor for it's against a. No, it's trying to tell us independent reasons why we're happy, regardless of the halachic ramifications, yes or no. Okay. Says more. I will be interesting thing. Abba Shabbos Yom Tovim beside Lifnei Rachreim. Shabbos and Yontif you can make a fast before and after. How come today's Megillus Ta'anis, it's the minor fast, the minor holidays. You can't make a fast before or after, and by Shabbos and Yontif, you can make a fast on a Friday or a Sunday. I'll tell you, Shabbos and Yontif, you don't have to be mechazik. They're days, right? They're Raisa days, right? However, these are divrei soifrim, right? These are the Rabbanans. For divrei soifrim tzrichim chizuk, and to divrei soifrim the Rabbanans require a chizuk. Therefore, you have to dafka be mechazik them and forbid the day before and the day after in order to show what yom tovim there are.
So we don't.
Tomorrow, the time actually about the Megillas Ta'anis. That's when Megillas Ta'anis was canceled. Shabbat Megillas Ta'anis Batlu Kol Elu. Once Megillas Ta'anis canceled, all these minor Yom Tovim were canceled, and the prohibition to fast before and after was canceled as well. Which means that now, as you'll see, before Purim you can fast Bisman Hazeh. When it was the Megillas Ta'anis was in effect, you weren't allowed to fast the day before Purim. They couldn't make Ta'anis Esther. They had to make it before that. But now that there's no Megillas Ta'anis, you're allowed to make a fast the day before. Okay? Rabbi Chanania, Rabbi Yonasan, Train Army, Butler, Megillas Ta'anis, no Megillas Ta'anis. Why? Because we had so much tsar of the Churban. Well, you're going to make all these minor holidays? Truth is, somehow the Hasidim brought it back into the back door. I don't know. It's yard side business, whatever, but getting Rebbes out of prisons, all sorts of interesting things. But,
How come you left that on tape?
yeah, so know your audience. So at any event, so Rabbi Vav, Rabbi Simon, Terei and Armin, they both said about the Megillas Ta'anis. Rabbi Shem Leimar about the Megillas Ta'anis. Rabbi Yochanan Yeruchadzen, and Mashayisi Shoyna Ma'aser Shagozu Ta'anis B'Chanukah Belud. Last year, I'll tell you, Megillas. Look at this. Yesterday or last year, I learned there was a Ma'aser that they made a Ta'anis on Chanukah in Lud. V'Ram 11, they said, Rabbi Lezer Shesiper, that on that day they made a Ta'anis. Rabbi Lezer got a haircut. For Rabbi Shua, he went to the bathhouse. Armalam, Rabbi Yeshua went even further. He said to the guys who fasted on Chanukah, you have to make a fast to atone for the fact that you fasted. You have no right to fast on Chanukah. So Rabbi Yochanan says, "V'atamar batal Megillas Ta'anis." So Rabbi Yochanan say, "How can you say there's no more Megillas Ta'anis? There's got to be Megillas Ta'anis because we see that it was very bad when they fasted on Chanukah. It was a gefährliche thing." Rabbi said, "So if you Tamar batal Megillas Ta'anis, Chanukah Purim lo batal. Chanukah and Purim remain. Milain Rabbanan Amri batal Megillas Ta'anis." I'll show you Megillas Ta'anis is cancelled, besides Chanukah Purim, of course. Rabbi Yonasan time Kol Ruvas Reishat. Rabbi Yonasan fasted every Erev Rosh Hashanah. Rabbi Avun time Kol Ruvas Shabbos, so he fasted every Friday, even when it came out on a Megillas Ta'anis day. Even when it came on Megillas Ta'anis day, he fasted nonetheless. So we see Megillas Ta'anis is Batel. Now there's another pshat which the Shari Teres Yisrael says. It says that in somewhere in Megillas Ta'anis it says you're not supposed to fast on Erev Shabbos or Erev Yontif, but and they transgress that. But that already was said before that you're allowed to fast Erev Shabbos or Erev Yontif even when there wasn't Megillas Ta'anis because Shabbos Yontif don't require chizuk. So I think that the other pshat is correct. That which Kormei Bnei Moshe can say that they fast a lot of fast and they fasted even when it came out on Megillas Ta'anis day.
Nowadays we don't fast on Erev Shabbos.
Yeah, we do. Asar B'Tevis. Rabbi Zira Tzam Plas Me'avon Tzaymer. Rabbi Zira fasted 300 fasts. Do you remember why he fasted? I remember why he fasted. The Bible says he only fasted 40, but you remember why he fasted? To forget all the Torah he learned in Chutz La'aretz. So the Yerushalmi, the Bible says he fasted 40 fasts. The Yerushalmi, it's not enough! 300 fasts. The historians some say, Shamivon, 900 fasts. Lo chash Megillas Ta'anis, didn't pay attention to Megillas Ta'anis days. Rabbi Yaakov Barachah Mafkil Sifrai, he told the Seifrim, meaning the teachers, in Asas Itzusah, if a woman comes, the women used to fast a lot. Bishlanuchon and ask you what days you can fast. Emily can tell them, B'chomisan you can fast any day, Chutz Shabbos, except for Shabbos and Yontif, for Rosh Chodoshim, B'chol Shamoed, Chanukah, Purim, any other day you can fast. Okay? Let's just get to Amud Aleph, then we'll stop. When you start a series of fasts, you can't make the first one on Thursday. Why? She'll have kids to show him not to push up the prices, because the storekeepers see that people are flooding the market Thursday night, because it's right after the first Ta'anis, and it's right before Shabbos too, so the prices will be raised through the roof. They'll say, there's a lot of supply, let's let a lot of demand, let's raise the prices accordingly. So therefore, you have to start first fast on Monday to get the storekeepers used to the idea gradually. Now, what about the second set of fasts? Remember, the first set of fasts on the Monday. So what about the second set of fasts? Can you start it that Thursday? You have to take a break and start the following Monday. So that's machlokas. Shniyos chamishi, sheni v'chamishi. Tanakama says you can go straight into the second set. Right? Monday, Thursday, Monday, and then Thursday from Monday. Thursday, Monday, Thursday. So Rabbi Yosef Marnok Shem Sheni Rishonos b'chamishi, just like you can't start the first set on Thursday, kach shlosh niyos v'achronos, you can never start any set on a Thursday. Okay? Shim Rabba Amar also uvda kumir Rabbi Yochanan v'oyek Rabbi Yossi. The case came for Rabbi Yochanan, and he paskin like Rabbi Yossi, that he can't start on a Thursday. Rabbi Lezer mitzvah. Rabbi Lezer said, Omar, he said, Shavkin stama v'avnin ki chidaya. Start Mishnah, the beginning of the Mishnah says that you can go from Monday, Thursday, Monday to Thursday, Monday, Thursday. So how can we pass on Lord Rabbi Yossi? So Ashrichtani, so he found that Rabbi Chia learned b'shem Rabbi Meir. That Rabbi Chia learned that the ratio of our Mishnah is Rabbi Meir. It's not a Stam Mishnah in the classic sense that that was the day of the Rabbanon, but it was the day only of Rabbi Meir. And that Rabbi Yossi argued, so it's a one-on-one. Then he understood what Rabbi Yochanan Paskin, what he did. He said, Omar, Yos Yoda Sava, the old man knows very well, Parki Gama, to answer up on himself. Alright, well, we'll stop it for tonight, but tomorrow we have a very basic thing here about Stam and Machlokas, we'll discuss it tomorrow, very important. Good, tomorrow.